As promised, I'm going to teach you how to bring this image to the next level by adding some cheeks and some whites to the eyes. If you haven't worked on this image in a while, you can start fresh and do the step I'm doing now. But if you're just continuing through, you should be ready and everything should be highlighted. I'm going to click Z for zoom and put a little box around my Nudie Cutie's face. That'll zoom me right on up. I'm going to go down to my art layer. I'm going to click W as in wand and just select her face. I'm going to click Control H as in hide so I don't have to look at all those dancing ants. And then I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to call this layer white. I'm going to zoom in to her face. I'm going to hit B as in boy, and I'm going to change my brush size to something very small and very hard, so the size 5 is good. Then I'm going to come over her eye. Oops, I'm not going to color it in orange. I'm going to hit D on my keyboard and X as in xylophone to swap them. And when I color it in, I'll be coloring her eyes in white. And I'm just going to color in the little space that's allowed for that. And then I'm going to say Control H. That will undo the hide and show me exactly where my marching ants are again. And I'm going to click Control D as in dog. That takes them away. They're not there anymore. So then I can see the little whites in her eyes. I'm going to zoom in again. Make a new layer. This one is going to be called cheek. I'm going to hit the letter G on my keyboard. If it's set to my paint bucket, I'm just going to scroll over the right hand corner and select my gradient tool. I'm going to want to set it to the second option, which shows some black and white check marks and is called foreground to transparent. The black and white check marks aren't really check marks, they're just there to show transparency. And I'm going to select the second option, which has a faded circle in the middle. Then I'm going to come down here to my colors and click I as an eye drop. Remember, the letter I. I'm going to select a place on her face. That will give me her skin color. I'm going to click on that box and I'm going to move this box to the red area. Depending on your skin tone, every area will be different, but I'm going to get it to a nice version of red. If I were using a color like this, which I would not be, I would move it over here, but as it is, we're going for this red here. I'm going to click G on my keyboard again, and right where the cheek should be, I'm going to pull out a little diagonal line and let go. I'm going to put a pink dot there for me. I'm going to move it around until I find a place I like it. And if I don't want a completely round cheek, but would rather have something a bit more natural, I'm going to hit Control T for transform on my keyboard. I'm just going to stretch it out and twist it so that I get it to a spot that I would like. Once I like my position, I'm going to click Enter, and that will put it where I'd like it. I'm going to hold the Alt key down on my keyboard, the Alt key is next to your spacebar. I'm going to click and I'm going to drag, and that's going to exactly duplicate that cheek. See how it's created a new layer in your layers box? I'm going to click Control T as in Tom again. It'll give you my transforming tool, and I'll realign it. It's already the same exact size, but I want it to go in a different direction. So I'm just going to twist. I'm going to click Enter. Then, using our old pal, Eraser, I'm going to click E for Eraser. This is a little bit big and scary considering how small that area is. I'm going to change it to 21. Nope, 17. And I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to erase everywhere it's covering the black line so that her cheek fits that area nice. If you wanted her cheeks to be a little bit up higher and they're covering her eyes for any reason, you're going to start using your brain. Because we colored in the white of the eye with a 5, you might want to use a blurry version of the 5, which you can get here. And that will make a correct spot for you to just erase the cheek from the eye if it is covering any of that black line. And if you want to move them, remember, or if you're like having trouble erasing them, remember, Photoshop is only affected by what's going on that layer. So make sure that if you're sitting here trying to E as in erase this cheek and you're going crazy, you just want it gone, take a look at your layers. If you turn off the eye, you can see what layer you're affecting. If you were over here, you'd have no trouble scrubbing that cheek out. But you aren't. I'm going to hit Control Z as in zebra. That will undo my last step. All I'd have to do is come up here to this cheek, and I can go ahead and erase just fine. Like I said in our last video, go ahead and print this out. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show you one more little trick. If you Z as in zoom up on her cheeks, you can change the opacity here to bring them down a little bit. Maybe if they're a little too bright for you and you'd like them to be a little bit less bright, make sure that each cheek matches. So if you change this to 59%, go to the next cheek and also change it to 59%. You can highlight and type, click enter. But if you want something a little bit more subtle, that will work too. Like I said, go ahead and print it, color it in, embellish it, do all your cool stuff that you know how to do by hand. Remember, Photoshop's a tool, something else to have in your arsenal. And make sure to use your hands, because that's what makes it uniquely you.